I
Team Black Shirt,
Team Black Shirt.
and it's a
I
crew
also
today.
I was about to say Happy Monday, and then I was like, oh, it's
Wait,
Wednesday.
it's
But
that week where
mhm.
every day feels like Monday.
It really is. Good news is today's really
Like
short,
maybe the shortest.
which is great. So,
Um, Go for it. I read yesterday's.
okay. Increasing the dosage. If you're taking the wrong medication, that's not going to help. It doesn't matter how fast you're going if you're headed in the wrong direction.
So two quick and pithy versions of stop doing the same wrong thing.
Yeah. Which, like, the definition of insanity is to do the same thing and expect different results, right?
Right, that's what I've heard. That's right.
But here's the question that our listeners might be thinking, which I've thought over and over and over in my life is, but how do
You
you
know
know?
exactly. So what's the
Yeah.
answer? So what would you? So okay, go into Coach Holly mode, and the listener X, just asked you that. What? A little bit putting you on the spot, but like I know it's contextual, but like
Mhm.
what's kind of broad? How do you
I
know?
appreciate I appreciate the question because I can even kind of be self-reflective and do it for myself. So the first
Okay.
thing would be, have you actually really started? So sometimes for myself and I think a lot of us, we've been thinking about it in our head, like whether it's a new idea or a career transition or whatever it might be. We've been thinking about it for so long. And so then when we do launch it into the world or we take that first tiny little baby step and it doesn't exactly go the way we thought immediately, we're like, oh, I talked about this a couple weeks ago with like our Get Mom Ready episode, right? I've been thinking about this nonstop for months. And then we launch it into the world and I'm like, we only have one paid subscriber. And it's like, hold on a second. You haven't even really started. Like this was just the very beginning. So that would be the first question is like, yeah, have you actually really started? And then if the answer is yes, how long has it been? And do we have enough anecdotal and also scientific, like I guess subjective and objective would be better words to use, data to inform if we should stop doing it. So I think it's like we often think that preparation is what is needed to get that clarity when really we just need progress and then the guts to stop and or pivot once we get subjective or objective data. So that would
Good.
be my little 2 cents.
Yeah, that's good. And no, I always butcher this, but help me get it. Like what is measured is
Matters.
is it what's measured matters, or you measure measure what matters and what measures what?
Oh,
She sells seashells by the seashore. Moses supposes it toes are roses. What measure what matters and what's measured is improved. I don't know if that's the same like to be lumped together, but um, so I think I think at one point maybe this works. I'm gonna go with it. There was a point where, if Holly, you remember, what feels like a lifetime ago, I set on a journey to lose weight, and I lost over 60 pounds, which is insane. And just so everyone's very clear, I've probably taken on about 40 of those back. Okay, so like let's just be straight up. Um, But the analogy that I think we even used in some coaching was my simple day to day metric was did I lose like even just a point one of weight yesterday, and just to watch, and if it stayed the same or went up, I would change my like walk a little longer, maybe deny that extra bit of sugar or whatever it was that I was just on a trajectory. And so that was my metric to know that I was, and I'm trying to bring it back, but like that I'm headed in the right direction, not the wrong direction. So like if that number started to go up, and this is such an easy metaphor, so I'm not claiming it's easy to say, how do you know? I knew because of one measurement that every day I would wake up and I'd weigh myself, and if it was headed in the direction that I wanted it to go, then like cool, keep doing what you're doing. But the moment that it wasn't, something needs to change because it's different, and it's not where I'm wanting to go. So like the most basic of analogies with one little metric, but we've used it in the past that like that was find the thing to measure in order to stay in the right direction.
I think that that is a fantastic analogy. And same as you, I lost 35 or 30 pounds a couple years ago, and I now weigh more than I did before I even started that.
Yeah,
And yes, I've had a baby, blah blah
yeah,
blah,
you
but
have a pretty
also,
good excuse for the baby. I
well,
I was just
it's
sitting here.
been
Uh,
so yeah.
I was just sitting here
But
going like, what's the question? The natural next question. I think for someone hearing that for the first time would be like, well, then why did you stop measuring?
well, but that's the point, right?
Okay.
It's
Yep.
when you stop. So because I did the same thing. That was
Yeah.
the secret sauce. Was like, I mean, and yes, I had a coach, but it was the same accountability mechanism of like weighing yourself every day, and then the coach to hold me accountable. But it's to your point. I that is what is the accountability mechanism to are you making progress? Because otherwise, um, yeah, otherwise it's like filling your calendar to stay busy when you're not really making progress, or um, over trying to over perfect before you even get started. And so I'm just really big on, I've been thinking a lot about like the word progress. Um, does that's how you know if you're going in the right or wrong direction is are you making progress? So yeah, what is that one key metric? And even if it could be qualitative, it doesn't have to be quantitative. It could be a qualitative thing that you've got a gut check on every day. Like, am I going in the right direction here? So that was a
Yeah.
great analogy.
Well, hey, thanks. I was I saw something on LinkedIn. I'm trying to decide yeah, if I can find it. To use that as an example, it's a little bit in the weeds around like paid marketing strategies. So I don't know that I want to necessarily go there, but it's really just like to broaden it out organizationally. We talked about a personal example. I'm trying to think of like an organizational example of like how to we've talked about disruption, we've talked about anyway we come across this kind of topic pretty often, probably because this is like Seth's world, is to challenge, to be a challenger
Mm-hmm.
and a disruptor in some of these ways. But yeah, I got caught up in a LinkedIn post I saw earlier today that was challenging your like how it's one of those posts that starts off with X thing that you do every day is dead, and then it's like, you know, unpacking that phrase in their way. And I would agree that like in this particular case, it was saying like everyone around me is saying that their digital marketing strategies aren't working anymore. When are we going to
Mm-hmm.
realize that it's not about those? I mean, in this case, it was kind of like it's not about the big numbers and the vanity metrics. Like, how many years, decades, Holly, are we going to be saying this to like leaders and organizations?
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, it's about the personalizing the message. It's about personalizing the content, and we talk about persona building. Um, it's about knowing your user and being hyper focused on your user. So I don't know. I'm maybe trying to get a little in the weeds of like a particular industry here, but it doesn't matter how fast you're going. It doesn't matter how big your numbers. Like insert your dear listener, insert your own context here. But it doesn't matter how big the numbers if you're headed in the wrong direction. If you aren't capitalizing on what the mission actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And like what did you set out to achieve? What did you set out to do? That late night that you were like you could feel the sparks in your head and your heart about here's what I want to be doing. Like consider that those metrics have been taking you potentially in the wrong direction. You've been taking the wrong medication. You've been buying the easy metrics, but is that truly what's helping you get to where you're trying to go? Are you headed in the wrong direction?
Yeah. So good. That's a good one. I mean, I think we can end it there because it's enough of a challenge to, yeah.
And we went long yesterday with our friend David, so we'll cut
We
it a
did.
little bit short today.
That's right.
But would love to
All
hear
right.
from any of you at sethsaidwhat.com or, leave a comment on YouTube or wherever. Spotify, apparently. I've never actually done a comment on Spotify, but I know it's
No, me
there.
either, which is funny because that's where I listen, but I don't leave comments. Yeah. But yeah, how do you know if you're going in the right direction or wrong direction? I would love to hear that.
Or even a story of how you made a pivot and changed after realization. That I think is also like a pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
So good.
cool.
All right. Saidwhat.com. Okay. Thanks, brother. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.